Alright, let's work on a lizard. Lizard. Alright, so we only got 2 more Saurus, or Seraphon to go. Got the Saurus and the Star Priest. And I imagine, unless I'm able to work at some kind of crazy warp speed, that each of these is going to take about 1 night each. Could be wrong. Could go crazy fast. But these guys got a bit more going on with them. So we shall see. I don't know. Hope everyone had a lovely weekend. Mine was spent reassembling a deck, digging up my yard, putting in new pavers, and re-sodding my lawn. So, you know, fun things that we want to do. Let me change my focus a little bit. It's a little off. There we go. That purple is looking a little blue. I had to change a bunch of stuff on my camera. I thought I had it dialed in, but let me change my hue shift a little more so I can make sure that all my colors are looking the way they're supposed to. What's that? Purple. Yeah, everything's looking kind of green. Let's maybe go. Yeah, it's looking pretty good right there. Go a little more. There we go. Alright, let's try that. I think that'll work. Let's get some more paints on here and see how they look next to it. Yeah, that's looking a bit better. Go. A bit of blue on his face. A little bit down on his leg. There we go. And needle on his tail. Try not to be super messy, but doesn't matter too much. We do want to work kinda quickly, just so we can kinda blend these in, even though right now we're just kinda placing some. But we get some early kinda pre-blends. Can kinda help us out. That in there. Go. Bit of the pink. Go. And I like the pink. It's just very, very punchy. And works really well as more of a subtler accent, I think. And I think that's just my own personal preference. Kind of like this as a darker kind of void feel to it than like a real kind of super bright nebula. But that's also, you know, how we can come back with our colors. And not even really cleaning my brush, just kind of getting these, bobbing them on. And just doing a bit of wet blending, we get some nice green. Those Yellows mix in with the blues. Get some nice lighter violets where the blues and the purples meet up. There we go. The yellow is really the only one that I need to kind of go back in with. Everything else works pretty well. Let's get that up in here. And I mostly just want to get trying to work in the, the highest part of his scales. Put those in a little bit. There we go. Clean up the brush. Wet blend that out a little bit. We'll be coming in and with the contrast paint and running that as a filter through all of this. There we go. Little bit of ink right there on some of his face just for some highlights. Draw some attention in right there. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Not bad, not bad. Alright, give that a second to dry. I think I want to kind of do his shield similar to the other guys and kind of do a similar themed the shield and the user kind of have a shared theme with them. Maybe these are their fallen comrades or other, crazy star lizard creatures. We're just gonna get some fun colors going on. It's loud and crazy at the moment, but it'll get toned down. Don't mind too much my colors getting a little muddy. Just kind of come in and touch them up if I want them to get a little more vibrant. All right. Alright. Got a few scales that kind of run down a little bit. Go. I'll these, and then we'll just kind of blend this a bit when we start doing the underbelly. It's got a little more complexity to him. And the other one's got a little more character detail. It's cool. I like it. I appreciate it. yellow and the blue with their greens on their transitions. We're gonna do those horns in white. That is all good. Yeah, let's take a little bit of liberties on this back part of this arm. Blend that out just a bit. There we go. Sherbet. It looks like bad ice cream. What's the... There's like an actual... It's like Superman or whatever, that stuff you used to eat as a kid that was like all super multicolored. And I don't want to start any of the other paint because the splatter will get everywhere, so I'm just going to give this a second to dry. Let me just go ahead and color his tongue, because why not? This brush might work. If it wouldn't get lost in the color scheme, I would really do his like tongue as purple, or I guess black could work. Rawr. Here we go. Looking good, looking good. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, are those good enough? Yeah, those are. We want to thin our contrast way, way down. Just run it. Filter. It's super thin, like a pretty much like a glaze. We'll test it out on the shield first. There we go. It's pretty good. You can see already how much it gets toned down. We'll do 2, maybe 3 of these. And sometimes I'll just, you know, darken it up in more spots than others and everything, and we'll just leave that as a, you know, this kind of just helps to give it that spacey feel. Let it mix enough. Go. Yeah, there we go. Start bringing it together. There we go. Lovely. Get in all the crannies. Gotta make sure you paint your crannies. Rawr. Already getting them better. Really digging the face. Might have to tone down that yellow a little bit. He's got a little much. It's a pretty easy fix. Yeah. Give that contrast a minute to dry. I really need to get me a little hand dryer. Help speed this along. More water. Oh, still more water. Oofa doofa. Of course I am mixing a much larger batch. You know, better to be too thin on it than too thick. Okay, a little more and we'll be good. By the time I get this mixed, this is almost done. There we go. Again, we'll test it on the shield. There we go. This is a pretty good consistency. May only need 2 coats. This is what Cujo would be calling a fat glazy. Never watched Cujo painting? Do yourself a service. Go check it out. He is amazing. I don't know if he means to be funny, but he always makes me laugh with his phrases and everything. Super knowledgeable painter. I have learned a ton of stuff from watching his channel. Alright, there we go. Let's tone down a few of these areas and we'll come back and we'll punch some back up. But I want to get a couple of those spaces that are just like really dark. It just kind of helps to sell the void effect a little more, because it's just, you know, it's this deep blue that almost reads as black, but not quite. So yeah, we'll let that dry. I may come back in with some blues and some purples. We'll see how it looks after we get some stars splattered on there, which is going to be the next step. And then depending on how that looks, we'll probably start on the belly. All those little fun bits. But yeah, he's looking pretty good. You know, I still got to go through and do some detail touch-ups on every single one. Of course, got to go back and do the bases, but I'm hoping to finish all of them this week. I really like the way this guy turned out with his little cloaking effect. That was fun. I gotta do this guy, which you're not really going to get to see the star effect on him because he's got this, you know, he's got the crazy cloak and headdress and everything, so, but it'll show up on his tail and a couple other places. What is that? Is that supposed to be a feather, or is that weird flashing? I just now noticed this piece. Well, that is very odd. Doesn't have it. painted since earlier? I didn't even notice that until right this second. This little flangey piece right here. Can't tell if it's flashing. I think it is. I don't like it, whatever it is. So we're just gonna excise it. I got some brush on primer just for moments like this. No, I don't have a brush. It's just an odd piece. It's really hard to... Oh well. If it looks a bit smoother without it, I think. Oh, I don't have my camera. Here we go. Move that just a little bit. There we go. Alright. There we go. There we go. I don't think that was supposed to come off, but I think that looks much better. You just gotta... Let's get the old files out where the sanding sticks. Yeah, let's see the sanding sticks. If I got any left. It's got a couple little fur spots on that. I need to smooth out. There we go, starting to get there. Come on. Got this one little chunky piece. There we go. Smooth all that out. I wish I had seen that before I assembled the model. Oh well, live and learn. Live and learn. Let's get this little piece. Really? Yeah. There we go. Let's just get this one little tiny stubborn corner. There we go. Ah. Better. Much better. Never be afraid of fixing your models at any point. If you see a big, glaring, awful, dumb thing that you missed, fix it. Because it's just paint, and it'll be fine. So we just gonna patch this boy up with some style res, because my LGS did not have any Vallejo brush on primer. This is about the only thing I can get my hand on. See you. That's what I got. That's what I'll use. It's not the greatest brush on primer, but you know, it does the job. Oh. Rah, 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 rah. All right. This guy's definitely dry now. I think he's dark enough. Let's put some spots on him. Let me get some desk protection. Poop, 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 poop. Using my full body, heavy body, acrylic, full body. There we go. Look at that. He's got all the stars on him. Wow. All right. Well, that was a lot this time. It will tone down a little bit, but that is a bit more than I was expecting. That's okay. All these guys are different. I mean, this guy, you know, you can... It's way more subtle. He's got just tiny little flecks on him. And, you know, this guy is a bit more where I've been trying to go. So, just, we'll see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, while the paint is still wet, really small thin down amounts of paint that'll still be semi-transparent. We're gonna come in, especially on the face here, just gonna touch up and get a couple areas a little brighter. Gonna dull down the star field just a touch. We're not gonna cover all of it, but some of the places where we'd like it a little darker, it certainly can do that. It really doesn't take much at all, especially like this yellow. Well, I want it a little more subdued than I originally threw it on. I do still want it on there. Just a real thin glaze. Boop. Boop, boop. Just to help. A whole heap. Let's paint to Warlock purple. that, thin that down a bit. And just a little. Little. This also kind of helps to, the dots and everything really help to kind of make the darks darker. I don't know, do I like that? Too much? I don't know, he's a big canvas, like I kinda think I may just here and there do some of the contrast paint just to, you know, very, very thin down. Just use it to blot a couple of spots. Help. You know, you're still gonna see them. You're not gonna be as bright. There we go. That's helping. There we go. Still want some of them like super punchy, super bright, but I think that's a lot better. Alright. Let's get pretty happy with that. Alright, let's get this guy's underbelly. There's one muscly lizard man. You know, doesn't have to be a perfect. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly cut off or whatever. Oops, I forgot to do his hands. But, you know, I'll blend it just a little bit, especially on the legs, the leggy legs, inside of his hands. Go. Love. Black green. Such a good color from Vallejo. Go. Oh, you're lizardy boy, aren't you? Alright. There we go. Very nice. That's just a little bit of a blendy blend. Right there. Yeah, here we go. Looking nice, looking nice. On those thigh bits. Gotta blend your bits. Just like you gotta paint them, you gotta blend them. There we are. There we go. Alright, alright. Let's see, what did we miss? Alright, let's go fix these hands real quick. Very liner. Pew pew, pew pew. A bit of pink. Oh, more. Oop. Go. And all that. Just a bit. There we go. And then on our filter, ever so slightly. Bit of mold, bit of mold. Alright. Now let's start mixing our highlight. Go. Alright. One day I'll make an actual formula for this, but now that looks pretty good. Let's switch brushes. And I want this one, that one, as I throw it bodily. Got all of our base layers down. I could probably keep using that crappy brush, but this one's good. I like this brush. Do your little muscle striations. You know, just like all the other stuff, we're just gonna have to exaggerate a bit. So, yeah, that's how a lot of mini painting works. Is be able to get your things noticed that you need to. You gotta exaggerate parts of them, like these little ab muscles. You really wouldn't see them, but it's many much more interesting. You at least apply a little bit of highlights to them. No, we'll probably go. We'll go up half a dozen steps. Building. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Hello. Get right now. We're just kind of getting a good idea where the highlights want to live. Putting out all the recesses as dark as we can. Alright. A little more. You know, we got room, we got time, we can play with them, move them around. It's not quite what we're looking for. Maybe we need to add some, maybe we need to take them away. We'll see. We'll see as we go. No sweat. No pressure. Just having fun. Laying down some paint. Making sound effects. There we go. Let's see here. A little bit on the inside of that thigh. Just a bit. Paying attention to where all the muscles are. That helps. Helps the model to have some tension. We follow tendons and all those little bits. There we go. I'm just gonna do, not really gonna see some highlights in here, but we got a little bit of bounce off the ground. And we'll play it up after that. Just one little highlight's not gonna hurt it. Just see it? Rawr! Scary little man. Alright. Let's do our next highlight. Alright. All we're doing for the highlight, same thing we've been doing the whole time, is just mixing in progressive, more sunny skin tone into the heavy black green until we get to our desired color. Brightness. Luminance. Saturation. There we go. Highlights. Little runnier than I was hoping. It's okay. We'll work with it. We'll work with it. It'll be fine. Alright? Alright. Put a little hair on there. Go. There we go. Just tiniest edges of that. There we go. Alright, there we go. Paint his little toesies, kneecaps, a little bit on his thigh. Not a ton. Smaller and smaller we go. Don't want too much. There we go. Go. Yeah. Look at that. It's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Alright. He is gonna look pretty good when he's done, I think. He's not gonna look as good as the first boy I did, but that was also probably, you know, I'll probably have 3 hours painted into this guy, 4 maybe, and that other one was like a 12-hour paint job. Well, not that long. I think I had 8 hours in it. Want to feel a little bit of, tiniest bit of texture on his chest. I feel like he's got some muscle fibers stretching out or something under his scales. So definitely trying to give that idea, I feel like, on certain parts of his anatomy. Could be wrong. That's just my interpretation. Just like last time, we're doing even less in our highlight areas. Now we're just starting to get to the very tips, the very, you know, the points that are going to get the most light. Alright, let's see. Yeah. A little bit. There we go. Boop. Boop. Little bits. Boop. Don't really need to do any more on the underside of that tail. There we go. Alright, on the ends of the kneecaps. It's looking pretty good. Get a little more on the hands there. Just draw a little bit more attention to it. I mean, I know he's leaned over, but alright, I think we need one more just to really get the highest points. You know, one of the most important lessons that I learned is when you think you've pushed your highlights too far, you're just starting to get them where they need to be. So let's get them right where they need to be, yeah? Just right up on the tippy top of the chest. just a bit. There we go. Yoop. Yoop. Yoop, 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 yoop. Oh. Let's that. This points that we really much. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, and then little tiny pieces on the back of the legs. Boop. Toes. And his knees. Alright, let's take a look at this guy. Rawr. Yeah. Green. Worked out pretty well. I need to smooth out the chest just a bit. Get just a real thin, kind of medium glaze in there. Just kind of smooth all that out. There we go. A little more. Not much at all. Just run it. There we go. Nice little blend right on some of the edges that needed a little bit more. There we go. Glazes. I don't know, glazes are like the glue of mini painting. It's like, oh, I need this to run a little more cohesively into this. Use a glaze. Well, bam. There we go. Like I said, I always like to look into my monitor. Helps me see what I'm missing. I need to kind of refine down. I mean, there's still a whole lot of model left on this. Let's do his tiny little rope belt that you can't even really see. That is holding up his greaves. Let's work that out. To a very simple combination of Monster Brown and Rhinoxide. But I don't know, just all these little bits just kind of help to bring it back in. As crazy as we may paint this, a little bit of belt right there, a little bit of belt right there. Bring the brush off. Stick it back on the handle because the blue tack's coming off. Hey, little dots. Doesn't matter that we're using a nice brush. We're barely touching the model. Very gentle. Oop. Not too much paint. And make sure you got just a tiny little bit. There we go. Yoop. Highlight our rope. May go a little lighter than that. For some reason, they doesn't seem quite as light as I usually run it. Maybe it just needs to dry a little bit. But there we go. It's generating some separation in the back. And then pretty much only has armor. Let's give him a little leather hand wrap. It's a very simple Saurus with very direct pleasures in life. The maiming and killing and destroying of chaos. Let that dry real quick. I want to stick with the brass and bronze motif. I think I do. I was thinking of giving him some steel weapons. I think it'll be alright. Always change it up. I'm just gonna give this, make this look like a old worn handle. Old, worn out, seen better days. Well, this blue tack just does not want to stay. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Alright. You know, this is just tabletop standard. You don't have to get super nuts about it. Oh yeah. The eyes. Never want to forget the eyes. I usually do them like second step, but you usually get a little involved on this particular color scheme. There we go. A little more. Something a little less. There we go. Come on. That's fine. We want to get a tiny little bit of white around the outside. We're going to do tiniest little bit glow off of this. See if we can get this eye a little more opaque. There we go. I'll just take that Roll around, there we go. Rawr. Kind of like these guys with just like straight up white eyes, but a little bit of green. It's a nice touch. Nice extra little bit. Oop, bam! So I hit my camera. There you go. Sorry about that. All right. So shake up all the paints that we're gonna need here in a second. Oop. Let's do just a little touch green on his eyes. Super fast. Rawr. There we go. Ooh, much. All right. Need to get a little more intense in this actual eye. There we go. I want to obscure the detail, but definitely want to get the glowy effect going on. Rawr. All right. Change my water. My metallic water. We're going to keep that separate. Doesn't matter if you put metallics on your wet palette or not. They will not bleed through, because if those little metal flecks were small enough to bleed through, then so would all of your paint, because your paint molecules, particles are smaller than that. So, all right. How do we want to do this? Do I want warm on the inside and cold on the outside, or vice versa? Well, let's do a shield. The way we've done the other ones. Done all their shields in bronze. Go. We are. We want this nice and smooth because we are going to have to come back in. Do a second coat. Go. When the downtown lights start to come out at night, we go insane. And when I arrive, I start to I think I'm gonna do a little bit of bronze on it. Brassy bronze, bronzy brass. Let's look at some of their other weapons. Okay, bronze on the outside, brass on the outside. That works for me. You know, even though that this guy's a bigger, fancier unit, still want to keep him fairly cohesive. There we go. There we go. Come on. There we go. Alright, alright, alright. Well, it seems like bronze on the inside, brass on the outside. That's the theme, so let's keep following that on this guy. Go. Oop. There we go. Pew. Pew, 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 pew. There we are. Rawr. Go. Yeah, part of me really wants to do all of this stuff as NMM, but I'm coming to appreciate TMM. I need to get some more to properly, you know, experiment and get the process down, but I think with what I've got, I've been doing all right. Pretty much only have like 3 metallic paints. Well, I've got a gold, so I guess I have 4. The gold, not really a fan of. I did see one, Squidmar did a gold comparison list. I really like the Vallejo True Metallic Gold. It's got like this real antique-y greenish look to it. Like that. I don't know, I just like that more aged look. Go. Trying to figure out what is going on up in this zone. This guy's a little, you know, he's a old blood or a sun blood or alpha or something. We'll get a little more schmancy on his details, right? There we go. Smuncy. Go. All right. this whole area right here. Oopsie. Guess that's what I was painting on that other side while I was so confused. There we go. Alright, so we got that part, we got that. I almost like the, you know, the black next to the copper, like that, or the brass. I think that looks pretty good, personally. A couple areas I need to double coat. Two thin coats. All this stuff. Just to make sure. Although, personally, I don't mind that black coming through like that. I think that looks kinda neat. Like it gives it. Now if it looked a little cleaner, could look a little more deliberate. Oh, oops, I need to fix the inside of this shield real quick. Boop, 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 boop. Go. Go. There we go. Let that dry. Alright, I forgot to do the inside of the shield. Oops. Alright. Go. Alright, let's do this head piece one more time. Shapile. Go. Here we are. Lovely. Oh. There we go. Let's get that one little bit right there. All right. I'm gonna do the spikes as bone, because why not? Just gonna do trim all of this in the brass. Count on the side of the brush. To get most of that. Zoop. Zoop. You can tell these are part of the helmet, the horns, but I want to do them as bone, so I'm gonna do them as bone. Yeah. see here. Let's get this underpart. Ooh. There we go. There we go. Rawr. Yeah. With the gold, or the brass and the bronze together like that looks pretty good. Excellent. Let's do their shield. Let's see if we can get very particular. Breathe. There we go. Not great. Clean the brush. Clean, 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 clean. All right. Let's see. Yoop. 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 All right. Here's that. We need to do the weapon. We'll age all this stuff up. Get a bit less shiny. At least that's the idea. Guess I should do that. Cross guard and bronze. There we go. Yoop. All right. Zoop. All right, let's see here. He's coming along. Not bad, not bad. All right, let's see. Zoop. All right. Oh, I forgot to do straps on the inside of his arms. Go. Decent. I feel like it's getting a little much. this is a lot on this guy, but hopefully when we put the Reichlands on here, it's gonna tone it down quite a bit, and you know, if not, then it was a learning experience. And I will know. No, I didn't do my oh my gosh, Caradron Overlords in metallic paints, because I guess I just have to be difficult. But I'm doing my Seraphon in them. I'm pretty happy with how my KO turned out. They were pretty fun. Oop, big glob of paint. Big glob of paint. Well, that's semi-sloppy sculpting. The ring just kind of melds into the tail on the underside. Don't want that. We want a clear delineation. Now, tiny little ring. Well, comparatively. And bring that closer to the camera. Closer. Not that close. There we go. Looking pretty good. We've got some dimensionality to him. Oop. Oop. Some of that out of there. And put some of that in this one. There we go. That looks better. Rawr. Zerp. There we go. La 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 la. Rawr. Alright, just a bit more. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. I want this to look as smooth as possible, or do we want it to look like kind of like beaten metal? Oh, that just looked like a bad, sloppy paint job. I guess I could try to texture metallic paint. Really hear about people doing that. Doesn't mean that you can't do it, or that you shouldn't do it. Because most people want smooth metallic, but no. More ancient civilizations that have less modern, refined ways of how their metal was processed. I mean, you don't get much older than the Seraphon. They are from the old world. At least the idea of them. Whatever was the Slon carried on their trip. Yep. There we go. Let's clean the brush. Getting a little gunky. Go. Might need to refresh my paint. Yet in a minute, we'll see. I think this leg armor is gonna need another coat. Yeah, it's alright. It's not awfully terrible or terribly awful. Just trying to make a clear delineation of what is armor and what is scale. Oop. There we go. Oh, forgot his little tail spike. Let's see. Tail spike. Yep. There we go. Alright. Alright, before I forget, let's go ahead and do all of the ropes, the straps, the whatever these are supposed to be. Go. Yeah. There we go. Odd is that piece of, okay, that's a big piece of metal, I'm assuming. Alright. I'm assuming that's a big piece of wood there as well. What are we gonna paint this? Or no, that's supposed to be a big piece of metal bar sticking out and around through there. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Just to break the pattern up a little bit. Get that there. Zerp. There we go. Alright, so there's that. Now we gotta do some more of the brass. Alright. Yoop. Zerp. Go. Now I'm starting to see the shape of it. Go. Yoop. Around all the little edges. There we go. That's supposed to go down. Nope. Nope. I don't believe it is. Here we go. Yeah. Rawr. Yep, I was worried that the star field was going to be too much. But definitely now worried that the metallic is going to be too much. Out my tawny brush. Do this little wee inside bit. There we go. Go. Better. All right, let's go through and clean up some of the metallics with a very tiny brush. There we go. Some of these, like I said, I want to keep them kind of dark. I used looking. Brass would be the right thing to do as a beaten style of metal. I think. I could be wrong. But I think it somehow figured out how to do like a hammered look. That would be pretty neat. Right. Rawr. Alright, touch up a couple of the little grassy areas. Especially on this leg. You know, if you want it, excuse me, weird and old and beaten, paint it that way. Don't just half-ass the paint job. Get it to look like that. I mean, if you got the talent, you know what you're doing, but don't just be like, oh, that was totally on purpose. Now, it looks like shit. Don't do that. Go. A little bit more. Just these top pieces. I'm going to come in with some silver, some dull aluminium, and highlight some of these areas up. That is one shiny lizard. Rawr. Alright, let's get our Vallejo dull aluminum. You gotta shake the crap out of this paint because it separates like nobody's business. And then we got the horns to do, and a little bit of weathering. And this guy will be good to go, I think. Sure, I'll find a couple spots that I need to work on him. Alright, so very, very thin, very, very little amount, because this stuff is super runny. Come in. Gather up some of these bits. There we go. Just here and there, you know, with edge highlighting pretty much. And this, I have found, is what I actually like about true metallic. Like when you throw this kind of effect on them, it just gives that, I don't know, wear and tear or more kind of authentic look to it. I don't know, just my personal preference. Some variety to it, doesn't make it as static. So that's one reason why I've kind of opted to do all of this metal stuff, is because you start adding in, you know, this to all these little bits, start to give it some depth, character. Makes it a little more interesting to look at, like you're trying to figure out, like, why does this look more interesting, and then kind of look at it for a minute and you're like, oh, that's why. And, you know, like I said, I'd like to have more colors, so I could do like, here's a really dark shade of this, and I mean I could mix like black ink in and do that, but not quite the same. Go. Yes, spikes, pew. There we are. All right, now we just gotta do his noggin. I believe it's the only part we haven't done. You know, we can even do it as like little micro scratches if we really wanted to. I'm just gonna keep it as some edge highlighting. Yeah, you can see. Rawr. A little sloppy with it right there, but I think it's okay. Yeah, like I said, that dull aluminum just adds some dimension to it. Rawr. Guess I could just go back just tiny little bits. There we go. There we go. That looks better. Now let's do our skeleton bone. Skeleton. And then we'll have to go through and do our cleanup passes and everything. The metallics did get a little out of control here and there. No biggie. Kind of like that. Did these as bone. It's just gonna, I think it's gonna help tone those metallics down. They definitely need it. They are very, very loud. Not in the way I usually paint. Isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes pieces take a life of their own and maybe then end up looking like your normal style paint job, and that not bad. Growing and trying something new can be lots of fun. Embrace it. Try something new. There we go. Yeah. Switch back to my other non-metallic water jar. Don't want metallic flakes in the water, all up in my other paints. No, no, that would not be good. We don't want glittery bone. Soup. Soup. Rawr. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Go. Excellent. Zero. Coming along, coming along. go. Oh, nope. Somehow I missed large chunks on the backs of these. There we go. Yeah, that helped. That helped. Kind of makes me want to do the whole helmet and bone. But then I would have to repaint a whole lot of other stuff. This is fine. I really don't like it once it's all finished and toned down and weathered and all that, then I'll repaint it. But not just yet. Boop, 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 boop. Leather, leather, leather. Might mix a bit of the skeleton bone in on this, just to get a few lighter highlights. Where's this? This comes down and around. Oh, I'll go all that. Apparently, did not. Okay, so that loops around, which is different than the rest of them. It goes down and around like that. There we go. Alright, yeah, let's mix a little bit of skeleton bone and some of that monster. And we'll just get our new tone. Mix that in. There we go. Lovely. Alright. Let's take some of our contrast paint. Not really diluted down at all. And wherever our metallics got on our lizard, we'll just kind of plop that in right there, and easy fix to our lizard man. There we go. Oh, yep. So I thought there was some that got. Nope. That's bled over onto his eye. That was not what we wanted. So we'll just come in with some. This was blue. We'll clear that out. And we'll just touch up that eye a little bit. Little bit. All right, we'll let this by some. There we go. Alright, let's do some aging. Very, very small, very, very selective. Yeah. Alright. This is just some Seraphon sepia. Only thing we're gonna do is lay it on the horns. Give them some nice aging. Actually, I'm gonna use this tiny little bit. On this dude. I forgot to do that previously. There we go. Alright, so we got that. Let's do our Reiklin, which this one's gonna be a bit more. And keep that pot open and to the back. Hopefully we don't have a meme disaster at any point. But it's not Nuln oil, so I guess it doesn't count the same. And usually don't do washes, but on certain materials look really good. Just gonna fill these down, give them some age. Don't wanna, don't wanna soak it, but definitely want it on there. This will, work in the recesses and all those nice little areas. There we go. Don't want it looking brand new, and if I have to, I'll come in again and do an even more like selective bits. Go. Yeah, it's already looking worlds better. I think. I could be wrong. Still need to work on the eyes. Back looks pretty good. Armor's not bad. Horns are alright. Let's do a little bit of edge highlighting on these. A little bit on the tips. Not much. Just where most worn. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Yeah, things toned down quite a bit. Let's go ahead and highlight his as well. His, hers, theirs, them, they. We'll know that any Seraphon outside of Lord Croak has gender. Or the Salon, I should say, has gender. And let's fix a little spot that I missed on him. Wow. Well, I have him out. Some of our little fluorescent magenta. Just wanna make this little energy band a little more prominent, a little brighter. Just very minimal amount of white. And just this just needs to be pushed the slightest bit more. And I think it'll read a whole lot better. Get inside here. Pew, pew, pew. There we are. Coming along. Go. Bump, bump. A little bit. There we go. There we go. That looks way more noticeable. Way better. There we go. Nice, nice. Much happier with that. Much happier with this guy too. He's still a giant. You're supposed to notice him, I guess, on the battlefield. Rawr. Give him one little. One little white dot. Doesn't want to seem to translate. That's fine. Here we go. I like how dark these ended up. Shield's not bad. The weapon. Do another wash on it. Bring it down a little more. And the helmet. Nah, I think the helmet's pretty good. Might just leave it. Horns look pretty good. Just try to bring out that green on those cheeks a little bit. Oh, I didn't do it with the teeth. I was like, why does that mouth look weird? Also didn't color in his teeth. Yeah, would be why. Alright. Ragga. He looks pretty decent. Pretty decent, I think. Like the glowy eyes. The metallic is a little much, but I can live with it. The star field turned out pretty good. I think I might have tamped it down too much. Let's boost this back up, just getting some of the bigger pieces, livening it back up just ever so slightly. That is kind of the idea of the paint job, right? Starfield, so I mean, we don't want it to be crazy all over the place, but do want it to be part of the paint job. There we go. There we go. Got a couple little dots up on his face. Nothing major. There we go. There we go. That looks better. Haha. And I'll matte varnish this and everything and bring down that shine that's on it. Alright. Yeah, let's I'm gonna right-click this weapon one more time. I like the staining that's on it right up here. I want just a little more. Still just a little too distracting for my taste. Like I said, I want this to be the idea of old, aged. You know, this isn't some new piece of armor. This old blood. Yeah, that works much better. I mean, I know it's not dried yet, but it's much warmer. You know, I like the contrast between the cold and the cold of the character and the warm of the weapons. Like, on all of these. You got these nice cold weapons, or the cold characters, and then the warm colored weapons. Rah. Alright. Nice. I think, like I said, I gotta paint the bases, but I've been in a mood where I like to do the characters and then work on bases after. Which I need to fix this guy's weapon. I realized the other day that I forgot to do some edge highlighting on it and give it that more obsidian kind of look. The real trick is going to be try to get this bevel in here. I can barely see. Mess that up. Oh well. It's in there. I can see it on this back side pretty good. A little bit of maintenance. They're obsidian, got some shine to them, a little bit of waviness. Rah! Yeah, looks pretty good, pretty good. Still don't know about those feathers. Well, we just got this guy left, which I think I'm gonna save for tomorrow. I'm gonna try to finish him tomorrow, and then Thursday, if I get a chance to. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing D&D or not. But if not, I will be coming back and finishing their bases. And then we get to go to some Wood Elves next. So we shall see. But anyone still with me, thank you for coming in, hanging out. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. And I will be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, remember to do one thing every day that scares you. And have a good night.